My story isn't just for you alone. There's lots of faces here that I should think their parents or grandparents could tell them some episode just the same way, you see. And actually, I come to admit, when you leave and go to a strange country and different races, you will always have to take second place. And you'll always have to fight your way all the way home. You're not going to get no easy passage nowhere.
How does a black man, orphan, son of African people, stolen by an empire that loves and hates an equal, the absence of colour via the steeple, keep quiet faith in his roots and remain regal?
I was born in Jamaica, an island in the Caribbean, and I was born in the parish of St. Mary.
My grandfather, born to an Anglican father, was named after a famous 18th century pastor who reached millions and even preached salvation to slaves from the plantation to their graves whilst being their slave master. His father never knew this because in school he never learnt it. George Whitfield was a Judas, now his son was Whitfield Hermitt.
All of his children is named after British named generals or great. Even his dog, he named him after William Wilberforce.
And Hermitt was the surname of his great-great-grandmother called Patience. The virtue of Jamaicans when it comes to reparations. Because for generations, forced assimilation was the process. The new working force were made to worship Wilberforce, and no less than gracious behaviour to their white saviours was the only way to progress.
It might sound strange, but then we were colonials, and then everything was brought in by the British. Yeah, school, everything, even the way you eat.
Grandad's family were grateful. The kids went to school with shoes on and came home to a plateful, and who could argue with that? When being poor was being party to black, and when compared to white living, it was hardly a scratch. Because he was 9 at the time when his mother, sister, and 2 brothers passed away in their sleep in the same week, past the highest peak heaven wouldn't wait. By 14, his father would suffer the same fate. Moved in with his uncle on his mother's side, a wealthy, albeit a healer man with a rapacious mind.
And he didn't do anything for me when I was there. I used to work very hard when I was younger. Yeah. And when it comes to that, he wouldn't pay my school fee. And I told him, I said, disgusted with him, you know? And he said to me, what do you want to be a dentist for? When I die, he didn't have no wife on, and I was the only one there. Yeah. And he said to me, when I die, all this will be yours. You don't tell a 18-year-old Jamaican when you die, otherwise you're going to die. So I said, it's better I leave. And I leave. That's how I come to England.
Britain's roads are paved with gold. Seemed fitting. Loads of slaves been sold, so it didn't make the claim seem bold. Thinking about his school teacher, there's no way he told white lies about these suits and ties that would arrive in the colony, walking round with authority, talking about British policy coming in from the cold. But lo and behold, the truth was bitter. Behind the smoke and mirrors, you found the mother country a World War winner, chain smoking behind a broken mirror, hiding from her great shame as a colonial sinner. She wouldn't repent. All the people she'd ever oppressed, she could only resent. Bound together, she couldn't sever her tethers to their blood, sweat and tears of imperial years. Her ethereal fear of her own redemption appeared when you pioneers arrived and did much more than survived. You laid a foundation so future generations could thrive.
Whether you're white or black, if you go anywhere and you want to stay, let them put you in a corner, you stay in the corner. You're not like that. See. And if you didn't have an effort, I wouldn't worry about you either. You see, you must show you have some spirit, some fight in you.
I picture you buying your first house, what a dream. Then I picture them trying to price you out. How obscene, the owners finding out after things were ironed out that you were black, stacked the amount, thinking you'd concede. But you had that in the bank account, saving for them deeds. Nothing could impede you meeting your family's needs, seeking them guarantees cause nothing is guaranteed, starting with a home for sowing seeds of a family tree.
Then my problems just started when I went up on the street. No black person living there.
Oh, because you're the only black person,
Yes.
only black family on the street?
I was even fixing up my front garden when I reached there. And a bloke come out from the next door, that big house next door to me. Mm-hmm. And rolling his fist, he and his girl and his baby coming over to me while the wife crossed the road with big tattoo on his hand. And he was a foolish bloke because I was forking up my garden and he's coming to fight me. You know, that would be the end of him, no sure.
With a fork in your hand, yeah.
And the wife said to him, what is Martha to you, Joe or Joe something? And he said, I want to give him one, or something like that, you know. And the wife said to him, don't be foolish. I saved his life really because if he had attacked me then. No joke. You see, I was young and foolish, so you were taking a risk.
Yeah.
How did my granddad, his daughters and sons as black people, in the heart of an empire that loves and hates and equal the absence of colour via the steeple, keep quiet faith in their roots and remain regal?
How did you and Grandma meet?
Well, actually, we almost grew up together. As I told you, my situation when I went to live with my uncle. Yeah. That's where she used to live. But her grandma didn't like me to come there, so the process of that, I promised I won't let her down when I come here. Yeah. I won't forget her, that's how she happened to come here.
My grandmother, born in the same parish, the Lord foresaw your marriage. Roll out the horse and carriage for Grandma Daphne. The root of our ancient energy, fruit of heavenly freedom, learned through her empathy, our black mother. Our truth neutral and heart, the healing of scars, bleeding from shards when reaching for stars. We're going grandmas, filling a home and a children's tummy. So in a hostile country, we would never go hungry. Making something out of nothings, warm soup stirred with love and dumplings. We always had enough because of mummy. So we know where we're going, because we know where we're from. An unquestioning embrace in the belly of Babylon, dubbed the land of hope and glory, where freedom is the notion. An island floating on the back of the black mother of the ocean. And she rolls on. A wealth of lost history. We, the waves of her legacy, unsure we'll ever get to see all that lies behind her eyes. Time becomes an enemy. Eden becomes Gethsemane, betrayed by a fading memory.